all that good stuff. Okay, here we go. Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and of course, your pharaoh of physical media, Robert Meyer Burnett. And this is, of course, your favorite show on the internet, my favorite show on the internet, everyone's favorite show on the internet. Let's get physical media. But you know what? It's not a show without your favorite German and my favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you today?
Hello, my friend, mon ami. I'm feeling fine. The heat wave is slowly subsiding here. We go into normal temperatures, hopefully. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel. Unfortunately, last week, we didn't have any vacancies open, but we're back in business now. Talking, of course, physical media and other stuff. And you know, Rob, Sunday evening, I'm always Ghibli box office. We have some numbers for me.
Oh, well, you know,
box office.
I gotta, before we get to that, you want to know what makes me Ghibli?
Okay.
My friend Dan Coyle, I woke up this morning and he sent me the new Netflix trailer for season 4 of Manifest.
Ooh!
Manifest, dude. Manifest,
it's coming back.
What I like to call an impossible premise TV show is coming back. Lester Bangs might have called Manifest a show of glorious gobbledygook. Manifest is a show that makes little sense, but it has a cast which delivers with such conviction. And, you know, we thought that season three was going to be it. But after a hashtag Save Manifest campaign, my God, they dropped another teaser. And it looks, dude, there looks to be a volcano in season 4. And you know what? Why not?
Why not?
Shouldn't there be an erupting volcano? Because it is, after all, Manifest. I mean, everybody in Manifest, the SAG Awards have overlooked them. The greatest ensemble cast that sells this ridiculous gobbledygook. Now, some people would say that, Rob, have you seen Riverdale recently? It's saying "Hold My Beer." Riverdale is like an asylum show. It's Sharknado. It's so far around the bend and over the jump the shark, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but Manifest, dude. Manifest is a glorious thing of beauty, and we're getting a final season.
And it will be the longest, I believe.
Longest? I mean, you know what? It couldn't be long enough. That's what I say. I just, Manifest is something that, one, I can't even believe exists. And why shouldn't I? Because it does exist, and we are all the better for it.
And I saw it in the top 10 of Netflix.
Listen to this on Deadline, the top story, the big headline. On 828 day, there's even a day, 828 day, which is today, because flight 828 day at 8:28 a.m. this morning, exactly 1 year after Netflix announced that Manifest has been resurrected following its cancellation by NBC. The streamer unveiled a premiere date for part 1 of the series' 4th and final season. It will debut November 4th, 2022. As previously announced, Season 4 of Manifest will be released in 2 parts, consisting of 10 episodes each. When Montego Air Flight 828 landed safely after a turbulent but routine flight, the crew and passengers were relieved. Yet in the span of those few hours, the world had aged 5 years. And their friends, families, and colleagues, after mourning their loss, had given up hope and moved on. Now faced with the impossible, they're all given a second chance. But as their new realities become clear, a deeper mystery unfolds, and some of the returned passengers soon realize they may be meant for something greater than they ever thought possible in this emotionally rich, unexpected journey into a world grounded in hope, heart, and destiny. I don't know who wrote that shit, but give me a fucking break. All I can tell you is that in the trailer, there's a volcano in it, and if the ghost of Anne Heche shows up and says, hey, we never made Volcano 2, but Manifest Season 4 is the next best thing. As a matter of fact, who knows? Maybe she shot a cameo with Tommy Lee Jones. It wouldn't surprise me. God bless Manifest.
Everything's possible.
My God.
When it comes to Manifest.
Check it out. And there are details about the plot of Season 4. 2 years after the brutal murder of Grace turned their lives upside down, the Stone family is in shambles as a devastated Ben continues to mourn his wife and search for his kidnapped daughter, Eden. Consumed by his grief, Ben has stepped down from his role as co-captain of the lifeboat, leaving Michaela to captain it alone. A near impossible feat, with the passengers' every move now being monitored by a government registry. As the death date draws closer and the passengers grow desperate for a path to survival, a mysterious passenger arrives with a package for Cal that changes everything they know about Flight 828, and it will prove to be the key to unlocking the secret of the callings in this compelling, mind-bending, and deeply emotional journey. I hope from that paragraph you can realize that Manifest is gobbledygook of the First Order, and it is coming back. In these trying times where the world is falling apart, there's war in Ukraine, there's massive inflation, Manifest is coming back to save all of our sanity or not. So I don't want to go off too much because that's not what this show's about. But by God, Dieter, come on now.
And Stavros in the live chat says, Rob, Manifest is my absolute favorite Legend show. There you go.
Well, Stavros, I hope a better life is coming for you in the future. But I understand where you're coming from. I don't know what to say other than the fact that, hey, good on you. And I have to tell you, Dieter, I'm looking for the box office news. There isn't any on the top stories, which probably is because this is the most dismal box office weekend all year. So
I didn't even know what has started this week.
Well, the invitation. Did you see the invitation?
Oh, the invitation.
The invitation started. What else? What else opened? Something else opened that I wanted to see that I didn't go see. But hey, it's out there. Maybe I'll buy it on physical media. Who knows? So what's up? What's first up? What do you want to
do? Just considering box office, a question. Since Avatar will get a re-release in September, will it be possible to hit the $3 billion mark with the re-release worldwide? 150 million is missing, Rob. Possible? What do you think?
Well, we live in wondrous times. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. And if I would expect they look, a lot of people haven't seen Avatar in the theater. It's if you were 8 years old when it was released, you'd be in your 20s now. So there's a lot of people, and I think that Avatar truly is one of the transcendent IMAX 3D experiences anybody can have. It really is the best 3D that I've ever seen. It's wondrous in 3D and all the in IMAX, and all the people that are like, oh, Avatar, it's Fern Gully in space, it's Pocahontas, whatever. I mean, Avatar does have a magic to it, and if you experience it on the big screen, I think people forget there were people obsessed with Avatar when it first came out. They're like, I want to live on Pandora. It's not a real place. Doesn't matter. I want to live there. It's going to happen again. It's going to sweep the nation. And I think never bet against James Cameron, and that includes if one of his movies gets re-released in theaters. I just hope somebody does a better 4K transfer of Terminator 2. And maybe we'll finally get Avatar on 4K along with the other 3 missing Lightstorm movies. Of course, True Lies,
that would be nice.
The Abyss, and Catherine Bigelow's
Strange Days.
Strange Days, and Soderbergh's remake of Solaris. Actually, 4 movies. So let's hope we see that.
Yeah.
Come on, Lightstorm. I'm going to be dead soon. I want Avatar, the director's cut. I mean, the extended version, I want that on 4K. I want the director's cut of The Abyss on 4K. I want True Lies on 4K. I want Solaris on 4K. And Strange Days so I can replace my German Blu-ray. Come on, man.
Ooh, goddamn.
God damn it. So where are we at? What are we doing?
We're doing live chat, or I have some stuff to show, Rob. I could show first some discs.
Oh, why not? This is about physical media after all. There's great news this week too, by the way.
Awesome. The first one, just to keep my routine up, buying software first before I have this. Don't know when the hardware will be coming. I bought Death Stranding, the director's cut, as a Schnäppchen, Rob, for the PS5. But when the hardware will come to town, I have no idea. And the only thing I heard, Rob, in some countries, mine too, the PlayStation 5 will be getting more expensive. It will stay the same price in the USA, but in some territories, the price will go up for it.
Wow. Why is that?
I have no idea, Rob. I have no idea. Will be around, I think, around $60 more than it was, than it usually was.
Well, as long as you can get one. I mean, that's a step in the right direction.
Can get one, exactly. The first disc I show is probably the most expensive that I gotten over the last 14 days, but I couldn't help myself because I thought the 3D was awesome considering the movie. I got the Japanese Doctor Strange, Rob, in the Multiverse of Madness, which is, of course, the only country that still puts out
now,
a 3D version.
What did that set you back? Because that movie's great in 3D.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Rob, like with Shang-Chi, we're not getting open aspect ratios anymore.
Well, you know what? To be fair, they probably didn't do the 3D version in IMAX with the IMAX ratio.
Yeah. So, Schnäppchen and not a Schnäppchen. Doctor Strange.
So it all evens out in the end.
It all evens out, exactly. Older one, haven't seen it in a long time. Looking really forward to seeing it again. Duel, Enemy at the Gates, with Jude Law and Ralph Fiennes. Came out here. Enemy at the Gates.
Had that not come out before?
I'm not sure anymore, Rob. I think it did come out, but from a different company. I would have to delve into it. But this is finally, I think, from Paramount. Duel, Enemy at the Gates. One of my most fun I had with a movie the last 2 weeks was this Blind Buy, Cat in the Backdrop, but it totally fulfilled my wishes.
Uh-oh.
I got Baby Assassins from Wellgo USA, and I totally love the setting, Rob. We have 2 girls, just barely out of school as 2 hitmans, but to cover up their real job, they have to get side jobs, like working in a restaurant or something like that, but that doesn't sit too well with them. And just the setup of the movie, the constellation was just humorous to see. It's not brimmed filled with action, but the action that is is really greatly done. So from Japan, Baby Assassins, but this is, I think, the first release that the movie has gotten in America. Baby Assassins. Totally recommendation, Rob. I totally had a blast with this. Good laughs to be had here in Baby Assassins. When they have tied up a guy and one of the girls gets a call if she can fill in the restaurant or someone who's sick, and the other has, dispose of the body alone, the usual problems, usual problems.
As one does.
So Baby Assassins, as one does. Baby Assassins. The next 2 come from our section or rubric, what the fuck did I just watch? And I think one you have showed 14 days ago, the other I don't know. Finally, Rob, I have gotten around to see Alex Garland's Men, finally. And considering the movie itself, it doesn't matter how you find the movie, but you will not forget it. That
Right.
you will not forget the movie, and that is always on the positive side. And I wasn't know what I was getting into. Had a nice sound design, and okay, it wasn't top of the pops, but I probably will get the 4K release that comes out here in Germany too, with a little bit of a nicer cover than one of the 40 Men that Rory Kinnear plays in Men. The other one, you were at the theaters with Elizabeth and have seen it, and in another What the Fuck Did I Just Watch movie, I got Crimes of the Future.
I mean, since we're showing stuff, you know,
you have to do.
I had to get it too. You know, I'm a huge Cronenberg acolyte, so I did pick this up from a small video company that people are not. I have not watched this yet, the disc, but it does have.
Disc is great, Rob. Great picture quality, but no big extras. Just an EPK kit, about 5 minutes. So really not.
So let me
big on
ask you, what did you think of Crimes of the Future?
Like with Men, Rob, there's stuff in it I haven't seen yet. So it will stick in my mind, some of the stuff. But I was really surprised that the movie was at one point, we're at the end? Okay, I thought we were going somewhere else and resolving something. So this is a movie I have to watch again, Rob, to really make up.
That's always a good thing. I mean, if that's the answer.
And I love that Cronenberg still goes practical effects. You know, it always has the flair that the movie is actually older and probably from the time you read the script for it
20 years ago. Yeah,
you know. Yeah, exactly. So not for everyone, but if you want, like Chris Gore says, movie diet, see something else. Crimes of the Future and Men are definitely two of those examples. So this is my little bit of my first haul for physical media.
Well, not bad. I guess then I too could, I'll show you a few things. I picked up. Okay. I've been wanting to get this. I did not. I've got the really nice box set of the director, the Ultimate Watchmen.
Ooh, nice.
And this was what is it, Legends of Cult or something? They had this.
Legends of Cult. I believe.
Yeah, they had this on Zavvi, and you can see it comes with a Closenoid pin of Dr. Manhattan's logo or whatever. It's got a steel book in it and a booklet of pictures and stuff. I mean, you know, I don't love Watchmen. I like it because I love the comic. But I think that Zack Snyder did a great recreation of Watchmen. I don't know if it's a good adaptation. But, you know, I saw this. It was on sale. It was a Schnäppchen. I picked it up. It'll look good on the shelf. And I've got the big box set, the Ultimate Edition. But I never picked this up in 4K. So now I have it in 4K.
Is this only one version of the movie? Is this just the Ultimate?
I think it's just the Ultimate. There's two Blu-rays in it, to be honest. Maybe it's all of them.
The comic, with the comic involved in it.
To be honest, I have no idea. I
think the Ultimate is with the comic involved in the story.
Oh yes, I think yes. The animation is yes.
The animation.
I thought you meant the motion comic, because there's a Watchmen motion comic disc as well, which I don't know if it's in here. But yeah, this has the animated sequences, which, to be honest, I don't really think work. The animated sequences within, I mean, in terms of if I truly am the viceroy of verisimilitude, I've always thought that while I appreciate they wanted to include everything, the Watchmen comic is a commentary on the whole medium of comic books. And in a world where there are superheroes, they really didn't have many superhero comics. So pirate comics, which have sort of fallen from favor in our world, those were the comics that people were reading. And it's just weird that you have a kid who's reading this pirate comic book outside of the newsstand, and yet then they go to these animated sequences.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's just weird. I don't think it entirely works, but that's okay. And then, of course, a movie. I wantonly bought a movie that I know is terrible, but I bought it.
Rob, who you talking to? Who you talking to? Come on, man.
Dude. I had to get Johnny Mnemonic in black and white.
Oh, the black and white. Okay.
This movie's terrible. It was directed by an artist that I loved, Robert Longo. He did like the New Order Bizarre Love Triangle video, but he was a pretty famous New York artist in the 80s and 90s. And he made, this is his, I believe, his only feature film. But it's in black and white. I don't even know if this comes with the color version. I don't think I've never owned Johnny Mnemonic before, but I just bought it because it's in black and white, and I thought, what the hell? I don't know. I'm sure this movie, I saw it once 30 years ago. I'm sure it's not any better. Based on a William Gibson short story, and hey, Dolph Lundgren and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. And Henry Rollins. From which company is it, Rob?
It's Kino. It's
Kino.
Oh no, you know what? It isn't Kino. It's TriStar. TriStar put out.
Okay.
So here's the thing: with all the stuff you can't get on physical media, what brain trust at the studio was like, I know what catalog title we should release. Let's
Johnny
release
Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic. I mean, obviously, Keanu Reeves, you can't go wrong now with everything. Obviously, he's front and center, so it makes sense. I get it. But, I mean, come on. There's so many crazy things that we can't... Like, Kino, where is the 4K of To Live and Die in L.A.? You announced it over a year ago.
It's in the works, Rob. Somehow.
Where is it? Don't know.
Johnny Mnemonic.
And then, let's see. I got another thing that I actually really like this movie. Not a lot of people have seen this movie. It stars Robert Blake as a cop. Kino did put this out. Electra Glide in Blue. Electra Glide. And here is a great argument for why you should go back to some of the original key art for your disc cover. I mean, that is a disc cover. And the tagline is, this is the greatest tagline, he's a good cop on a big bike on a bad road. Come on. Electra Glide. If you haven't seen this, it's not quite like, I mean, there's a couple of movies like Vanishing Point and Two Lane Blacktop, and I would throw these kind of existential road movies in the 70s. I mean, yeah, if you haven't seen Electra Glide in Blue, I'd make a great double feature with The Swimmer. Or not. I don't know. What can I tell you? So that's a few of the titles. I have more, but we'll show them later.
Yeah. Yeah. Should I delve into the live chat from 2 weeks ago?
Let's hear about the live chat.
Okay. Previously on Let's Get Physical Media, Eucalyptus loved Sandman, but didn't like the whole Vortex storyline. And then I can immediately chime in because I finished the Sandman 2 14 days ago. Really thought it was good, but like Eucalyptus, I wasn't a fan of the Vortex storyline afterwards, so I thought until the episode 5, it gotten stronger, but the second half of the show, and I watched the bonus episode, so 2, wasn't perhaps the strongest television I've seen. And I thought if Sandman would have come out in this state perhaps 10 years ago, I would be more impressed, considering the visuals are nicely done. But I watched actually the Light and Magic docuseries, and like James Cameron said, you can't wow us with visuals anymore. The story has to be the big thing that will get us into it. And you really have, from my perspective, to adjust to the tempo of Sandman, because it was like, I have to get my ruby and my helmet and my sandbag, But considering I don't know if it will get a second season, there is some rumors about it. Let's see how it will do.
Okay, I just want to say that Sandman's my favorite comic book series of all time. I quite enjoy the show, and so including the bonus episode that has Dream of a Thousand Cats and Calliope, they've done the first 18 issues of Sandman have now been adapted of a 75-issue run. So they did 18 issues of the comic. And the thing about Sandman that I think people need to understand is that it is an anthology. All the stories are very different. And they have interlocking, like a lot of the people that you met in the Vortex storyline, which is called The Doll's House. That's the name of that story. The first part of it was called Preludes and Nocturnes, then The Doll's House. The Calliope storyline and The Dream of a Thousand Cats was a 4-issue series within a series called The Dream Country. And if they adapt the next story in the Dream Country. It's Midsummer Night's Dream, which is about Shakespeare performing A Midsummer Night's Dream for the Sandman, and the Sandman shows up with all the actual real fairy folk that A Midsummer Night's Dream is about. I would imagine that's how season 2 would begin. And then there's another story after that called Facade that I don't think they're going to do because it's heavily steeped in DC mythology. And then they would go into my favorite Sandman story, which is A Season of Mists, which brings back Lucifer, and you meet the rest of almost all the rest of the Endless. So in the first season, we met Dream, Death, Despair, and Desire. We have not met Delirium, Destiny, and Destruction yet. So, but I loved it. I love the show. It's certainly definitely like the comic, an acquired taste.
And considering what I was thinking about, you told about I was thinking the show had shifting aspect ratios, but it's just the picture itself is a little stretched. But for me, it wasn't a deal breaker.
No.
So for me, it was not influential in if I would like the show or not, because I was thinking, what is he talking about? I was expecting aspect ratio shifts, and then a friend of mine said, no, the picture itself is stretched, and I thought, oh, okay. Didn't immediately notice that. So back to the live chat. Terry, Tiberius Morg was in live chat. Still haven't seen Top Gun Maverick. Well, Terry, now you can of course buy it just as a digital, and the digital one, Rob, has the IMAX aspect shifting ratios that comes with it, at least from iTunes. I think it would be the same if you buy it on Amazon, but Paramount is really doing the right stuff. Now first you can buy it, because I don't think it is on Paramount Plus yet. You only can buy it as a digital. Then Terry was back and he said, I tried Tree of Life, but it felt like watching plants grow. Okay?
Fair. It's fair.
Fair, yeah. Tim Hens was, of course, in the live chat. We are not going to get answers to the Batgirl movie. It was cancelled. Exactly. And considering this statement from Tim, I will intersect a letter, because Brian Nightrop, he just can't let it go. No, he just can't let it go. Because Brian Knight wrote us and he said, Dieter and Rob, I understand the concept that Batgirl is cancelled, but cancelled or not, there still lies the question, who is Barbara Gordon's mother? That question needs to be answered, especially if the movie had been released. Well, Brian, if no actor is listed on the IMDb, perhaps her mother didn't even have a role. Didn't have a role in the movie. But you can still make a detective story out of it if you wanted to know who would play the mother. A question for you, Rob. Agent Silverfox, I have the restored and lost edition of Metropolis. What do you recommend is the best version? The movie is epic for me, truly visionary. Rob, your take on Metropolis?
Well, there's a number.
What version do you?
I mean,
recommend?
it's funny because I think I have like 6 versions of Metropolis on disc. I would say the last version that has the most footage, but from what I've heard, they found even more footage, and I think there's another version being prepared.
Okay.
But I mean, there's the '80s Giorgio Moroder version, where Giorgio Moroder did the synth score, and then they tinted some of the movie, and they added a lot of pop songs to it by people like John Anderson from Yes, Age of Freedom, that song. So I think I want to say Kino Lorber put out the last edition, but I am not sure, to be honest. I think, as I said, I have 6 different versions of Metropolis.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go through and do some research, but usually the last version that was released, whichever that is, so you could check on the dates. Maybe I could go look real quick, but here, why don't I do that? I'll go look and see on Amazon which version is
the
out.
Last, the actual one.
Yeah.
So like I said, I watched the Light and Magic documentary series. Really, really great stuff on Disney Plus. I wanted to delve into the Resident Evil series from Netflix, Rob, but canceled.
Canceled.
So-
More news for the week.
so-
The Resident Evil series is no longer.
Yeah, longer. Exactly. So no need to
bad.
go there.
Yeah. So, did you watch any of it? You didn't watch it at all.
Yeah, I watched the first season of Resident Evil, but since it's canceled, it's not really. It doesn't need to be discussed anymore.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Let's see. I'm looking up here, Dieter.
Yep.
Okay. The ones that you can get on there's the Masters of Cinema version that they put out, reconstructed and restored, that Blu-ray, and it that's from 2010, but I think there's a later version. The other one that they have here is the complete Metropolis, which I think that's the Kino Lorber one, and I believe that no, that also came out in 2010. But I think there's a later one, but it's not here on Amazon. So maybe, it looks like both of those
Perhaps
are
out
the
of
same
print already?
version. I don't know. I don't know. I think that Kino Lorber one is the one that the complete Metropolis, but I think that it's funny when you look on Amazon. I bought this disc on December 23rd, 2010. So those are the two, but they both are dated 2010. And then the Kino put out the Giorgio Moroder version also in 2010. Crazy.
Okay.
So I guess, wow, time flies. But I would get the Kino Complete Metropolis.
Yeah.
That one. Yep.
There you go, Agent Silverfox. Terje Tiberius Morg. Dubbing is for children who don't read yet and adult Germans. Well, Terje, you're right about that one. Okay. Tim Hans, as Alan Parker is no longer alive, do the full rights to the wall now belongs to Roger Waters? As far as I know, Tim, they always did.
Yeah.
Rob, can you help me? I think
Yeah,
Roger
I
Waters
believe that's
first.
and he is the holdup. I mean, I've got a couple of bootleg videos, versions, Blu-ray versions of Pink Floyd The Wall, including one from, I think, Stinky Tuna, and then one from Hong Kong Rescue.
Yep.
And it looks like they were, taken off of HD broadcast versions, which are fine, but I would love to get a 4K Atmos remix of The Wall. I love The Wall.
That would be nice.
I'd love to see that happen. But again, it's up to Roger Waters.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Big
Yep.
Disc Energy, one movie that came up often in the last few shows. Stone Cold is ground zero for modern action cinema.
Oh my God, yes it is.
Yes. And Tim Hans, not watch Stone Cold myself, but would you call it a guilty pleasure? I would think so, that it would fit that description.
It's really interesting. Stone Cold is a guilty. I think it's a really decent exploitation movie masquerading as a guilty pleasure.
Oh,
because here's the thing. It seems the fact that Brian Bosworth was cast in it, and like he has an alligator for a pet, and he's got a ridiculous 80s mullet. I mean, everything about it screams guilty pleasure. Like Cool as Ice, the Vanilla Ice movie. However, when you get to William Forsythe, and especially when you get to Lance Henriksen as the biker gang, the leader and his major domo, Lance Henriksen's villain turn in Stone Cold is fucking incredible. And as an action film, it's got some really great stuff in it. So I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. I would call it a very enjoyable exploitation movie. And for those keeping score at home, there is a difference. To me, Star Crash is a guilty pleasure. Battle Beyond the Stars is not. So take that and figure that one out. And if you object to me, go down in the comments below.
Nice. Big Disc Energy again. Top Gun Maverick is what Tenet wasn't. Okay. Chuck Keyworth, considering 007 discussion, I'm not suggesting people will forget Craig entirely. I'm saying his tenure as Bond won't be very significant in the franchise. I grew up with Moore, but Connery is superior. Okay. Let me just see what we have here. Planet 628. A lot of dialogue in Stone Cold was improv, and they had fun making it. Okay.
It shows. You can tell in the movie.
Sent, always nice to read new names. Sent Trixu. I support physical media. I do not believe it will go away. We in Germany say, Totgesagte leben länger, which would translate, believed dead ones live longer. Okay. So, from video under Deets, you gotta call out Rob for not mentioning Predator as most metal character yesterday in the Midnight Metal Show. Okay. Paul in Long Beach.
Is the Predator most metal character ever? See, the thing is, I mean, the Predator.
Dave had very specific parameters. It doesn't come to the outfit, or it's more the behavior of a character.
Yeah, it is more the behavior of the character. And here's the thing. Basically, the Predators, we're imposing our own viewpoint on the Predator, making him. I mean, think about it. If you go back to the Predator homeworld, those are probably just beer swilling, good old boys from, Arkansas who have spacefaring capability. So as far as we know, they come to Earth basically we're just rabbits to them. We're technologically inferior people that they come to take out and have fun hunting on the weekends. So from a Predator's point of view, the Predators themselves are not metal. I think that whereas Snake Plissken is very metal. He's a nihilist. He's willing to throw away society, to burn it all to the ground and not care. And yet he still does care because he does save people. Even though he's forced to, Snake Plissken deep down inside has a heart. And I think those two things make him the most metal character of all. He won our competition. Yeah. Snake Plissken is the most metal movie character there is.
There you go, video under D, why Predator wasn't in the running. Paul in Long Beach. Ironically, Dieter and I have the same feeling about Free Enterprise. Paul, cheers.
Wow, I get to get dissed on my own show.
Considering them, since it's 14 days ago, considering transfers and looks of this, the biggest energy, maybe, I think it was the conversation about Heat, the 4K, Maybe it's the TV settings. TV settings aren't universal. And that is probably always a big point, considering we all have perhaps our TV a little bit separately adjusted, even if there is parameters to do it. But that could always be a point. And how the TV itself will handle the material. So, Kenneth Crayley Jr., well said, Rob. Different transfers for films are going to look different for Blu-ray disc and 4K for older films. Derek Sorber, I have the Heat Steelbook. It is dark, too dark? Question mark. Probably depends on your TV. I just love the movie. Okay. Demens, better dubbing in an Italian Western than Deets being out of sync, which sometimes happens here on the show. Stubby McShave, but I'm shaven today. When Dieter is out of sync, it looks like he's dubbing himself from German to English. So let me just see. Sometimes I forget the connection to what it was. It was, I showed the movie Duel with Karen Gillan and White Elephant, the action movie from Jesse V. Johnson. And like Double McShave said, one hit, one turd. You know, that was fitting for the both of the two. Considering White Elephant, Eucalyptus, so it's a cat in the bag, but it's shit this time. Actually, cat in the bag can come to that. You know. Let me just see what else there was. Considering physical media, retro nerd girl said, "Where I live, there is nothing." Considering we talked a little bit about shops where you still can buy Blu-rays, you know. Where I live, there is nothing, so I have to order online because we had, I believe, the letter. It was where you or the super chat where you buy your stuff, you know, or if you go venture out into the normal stores to get our physical media into the world. And Danzig, 1979. HMV is the last refuge of the physical media collector in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, the lovely Emma Bannon is always sending me links. I mean, HMV is doing some pretty cool special editions and swag and stuff. And the lovely Emma Bannon always hooks me up with those discs.
Bobby Desla Music. I watched Tiger Cage, which I showed 1, 2, 3 over the weekend, and it was such fun. I am so glad I own it. Exactly. Danzig, 1979. Rob's praising of For All Mankind is making me want to check it out. Danzig, do it.
Yes, do it, Danzig. Don't want to do things when you can just go do them.
Exactly.
Just do them.
Especially if it comes to For All Mankind. This was the last live chat.
All right. Well, that's good. Now,
and considering For All Mankind, the first season will be released on Blu-ray in the UK
in September. I pre-ordered it.
Oh.
Big surprise.
Big surprise. Surprises here.
I have to say, it was a pretty interesting week for releases, announcements. Okay. We're getting some classic films on 4K. First, you know, you can see Boo Radley in 4K, To Kill a Mockingbird, the 60th anniversary edition, being released as a single disc on Blu-ray. Gregory Peck's probably his signature role, I suppose. That and The Omen. Then, of course, from Warner Brothers, we're getting Casablanca in 4K, which, you know, come on, that's a no-brainer. And by the way, I love this cover. It says artwork to be decided. This is probably not the final artwork. I do love this artwork. Now, Dieter, you know on this show, we love our Studio Canal big boxes with the swag.
This is swag. Highlander.
The Highlander, buddy. Look at this. Look at this. Highlander is finally... I mean, this movie has never looked particularly great, but...
look.
You're looking forward to how it'll look?
Yeah.
I mean,
how it will look, considering, like you said, it was never a pretty movie.
No, it always looked like, even when it was new, it looked like somebody dragged the print through the mud. I mean,
exactly.
Low light. It's very grainy. You know, there's lots of opticals. It didn't have the biggest budget in the world, but that's part of its charm. But this is again, it's just got the right amount of cheese on the box. I'm very excited to get this. I actually ordered 2. I ordered one for John Campea because it's his favorite movie. So I mean,
what the hell? Physical media for John?
I know. I mean, he's got his PlayStation 5. He set up his movie room. I mean, I think he can have one. Okay. You know, I'll buy him one.
Make a video. Make a video.
Oh, I will. I'll make a video. Now, of course,
E.T. Send me the video when you get him his.
Oh no, I'll post it. I'll make a big deal when I give it to him. I did tell him I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I had to tell him I ordered it for him.
Damn it.
But it's such a great package. You know?
Yeah, totally.
You know, so then, of course, E.T. coming off of its IMAX re-release, its 40th anniversary re-release. We got this E.T. box set. It comes with everything you need to go back to school. It comes with a tote bag, a thermos. I mean, look at that. An old a lunch box, a certificate of authenticity. Like, I don't know if I'm going to buy this, but it is a nice package. What do you think? Are you going to buy it?
And considering Airplane, hopefully it comes with $1 million. You know, you have to delve into the telephone, you know.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's but it's.
I will probably get just it comes out here as a steelbook rock. I will probably just
that's all I want. I mean, but it is. I mean, I think it's kind of neat the way they put this out. I mean, this is a fun fun thing. And the certificate says 555 or whatever, so 5,550 it looks like. So that's cool. And then I think, Deets, you got to love this one. The Running Man. Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man. Now, it's very funny to me because this story, of course, Stephen King, under his pseudonym Richard Bachman, one of the first 4 Bachman books, I believe. So there was Rage, The Long Walk, Road Work, and The Running Man. And those were the first 4 Bachman books, and then they were released in a hardcover. If you go back and you reread, the movie The Running Man bears no resemblance at all to the shorts, to the novella. Or actually, it's not a novella, it's a novel that Stephen King wrote. However, again, this movie's a lot of fun. It's a great artifact from the 80s. It looks like you got a steelbook here and an O-ring. It doesn't look like there's any swag, and I'm not really keen on this O-ring artwork. I mean, it's, again, I think I've got to ask George Feltenstein, is there a reason why this artwork, whoever's creating this artwork, it's like first-year design students. It's not good. Now, I would like to compare and contrast. We've talked a lot about how shitty the Poltergeist 4K artwork is and how fucking terrible the Lost Boys artwork was. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say, now here's something coming out from Warner Brothers.
Okay.
It's a complete redesign. The original artwork was painted artwork. This is Photoshop. I have to say that this is a newly released title. I love this cover.
Okay.
And I love this cover because I think it really captures the movie in a classy. I would actually say that the original artwork is a lot of fun, but I really like this. And let me ask you what you think. So here is the cover for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And Season's Greetings from the Griswolds. This looks like a Christmas card you'd get from a family. And while this is not the key art at all, I really love this cover. I think this cover, people might complain about the Photoshop work, but the idea that Clark's stalking by the fire is burning and you got the cat there, and it might not be the best Photoshop job in the world. And it's not at all. But there's just something about this image when I first saw it, I liked it. What do you think? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, Rob. But if you don't know the movie, it gives off a different vibe.
That is correct.
What the movie really is. But it's one of the greatest ones. And I didn't know this was coming out, Rob. And I'm really excited now, considering I have the HD DVD, Rob, from the beginning days. So a new transfer of this movie is really needed. It's really needed. So I'm really excited that I had no idea that this is coming out, Rob. So I'm happy. I take it with any artwork you will give me. But this is a nice artwork. A little bit on the wrong path, but if you know the movie, great.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Now, here is a movie that I have wanted on Blu-ray for a very long time. It's one of my favorite erotic thrillers of the 80s, and it is being released on Blu-ray, but I'm both very excited and extremely disappointed. Because, like the original Scream, the director's cut of this movie is only available on Laserdisc, and the director's cut has great sex scenes in it. And I know, call me what you want. Call me a filth. On the John Campea show, you say, bring on the filthy. I'm like, look, man, if you've got great erotic scenes, and maybe it's because the actors didn't want the scenes released, I do have the Laserdisc. I have the Laserdisc. But this movie is kind of a hidden gem. And look, you don't need the sex scenes, but they make the movie even better only because Mädchen Mick is in it, who is unbelievably beautiful, and she has never, I mean, she's still sexy now, 25 years later. Nicholas Kazan's dream lover. If you haven't seen this movie, first of all, peak James Spader. I'm a huge James Spader fan. This film, it has a crazy secondary cast. It's absolutely fantastic. I love this movie. But only on Laserdisc, and Sandpiper Releasing is putting this out. And a lot of the time, I would be willing to bet the people that are putting this movie out might not know. But here's the thing, boutique video companies. If you are going to put a movie out on disc, and nowadays we live in a world where physical media with its plummeting sales to the normal general population, the whole point now of physical media is to deliver to the collector's market. You have to. You have to cater to the collector's market. And the thing about Dream Lover is anybody who's a fan of the movie, all 6 of us, I mean, and by the way, if you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm saying. I mean, part of the appeal of an erotic thriller is the eroticism. And Mädchen Mick is absolutely stunning in this film, and she's a great, let's call her a femme fatale, and one of the great character actors of the modern age that, again, does not get enough. The great William Shockley is in this movie, and he has one of my favorite lines of dialogue I've ever heard. James Spader, his character, is meeting William Shockley, and he's trying to delve into the past of his wife, played by Mädchen Mick, to find out. And he finds out she was once a girl named Sissy. William Shockley is sitting on his porch, and he's like, well, James Spader's like, well, what did she do to you? William Shockley thinks about it, says, she did things to me that I can't even pronounce. And I'm like, that's just it, man. If you've got a girl in your life that's doing things to you that you can't even pronounce, I'd say that's both the kind of girl you would love to have in your life and the kind of girl you can't get rid of fast enough. But either way, and I know exactly what William Shockley meant in that scene. I love this movie. If you haven't seen Dream Lover, I'm surprised that it hasn't been. I mean, you could remake it, you know. I don't know if you should, but this movie is. And by the way, again, this cover is not the original. But I love this. I love this cover. I'm like, here's a cover. It's simple yet elegant, and I kind of like the sepia tones of it. I'm like, you guys go. But Sandpiper Releasing, listen to your Uncle R&B. It has to exist somewhere. And here's the problem with a lot of these director's cuts, and I understand. They only existed if they're only on, like, Scream, the original Scream. They have the longer opening with the more violent end to Drew Barrymore, she's gutted. They only ever existed on NTSC video. They cut these things in, so they never went back to the original negative. And I get that. But you know what? This mission, if you choose to accept it, if you're going to put Dream Lover out, you got to do the due diligence, man. Go to work. Find that negative. Go cut it in. Find it. And if you don't find it, then you wind up in an Event Horizon situation where people are talking about the magnificent footage. Because
forever.
It's got to be somewhere. And you know what? I would imagine that was taken off. Find the print. Somebody. It doesn't look. I don't know. That's just me.
Robs, are the edits in that movie then very distracting or not really noticeable?
No,
it's not like when you would cut violence.
Oh no! The movies, they cut because this was the erotic scenes in it were, you were getting the original uncut version. Like when it first came out, it came out. I don't know if it came out on videotape, uncut, but I have my Laserdisc, and I guess I'll keep it.
Okay.
But it's a great movie.
Research.
Now our friends over at Arrow made some announcements. Now, this is kind of strange. So Arrow announced they're doing The Wolf of Wall Street, a new 4K release. Now it's already out in 4K. I have it in 4K, and I'm like, why would I want to buy? I mean, I love Arrow. God love them. Love the people at Arrow. But then, Dieter, look at this. Look at this. It comes in a wallet, like with an American Express black card and $100 bills, so you can snort your cocaine with them. And it even comes with cocaine. Like, here's the thing. When I first looked at this, I'm like, if Arrow was really cheeky, they would actually put real cocaine in that packet. I know they're probably not going to do that because they'd have problems importing those discs in the United States. But once I saw this package, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm buying this. Good on Arrow for putting this out, because this is, come on, who doesn't want to buy this? Are you going to go, or would you?
Help me out. Is this a new transfer again? No.
They'll probably using the same 4K transfer.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I don't know why, unless there's something, I don't know if there's more special features. To be honest, I didn't really read up. I didn't go to Blu-ray.com and read up on.
Yeah.
But I saw this picture and I'm like, oh no, I'll buy it just for this because it's hilarious. But
Great.
It's already out on 4K. I already have it. Why buy it again? Just because of that, because it's funny, and I like that somebody does that. Now, while it's not a great movie, again, I find it interesting that Arrow is choosing to put this out in 4K, but Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, they're putting out in 4K. I mean, a lot of people like this movie. I really like Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. And again, it has a really fun cast of characters, some great actors in it. So I don't know, would you buy Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from Arrow?
Yeah. Paul from Trinflix informed me about this release, which was totally came out of nowhere. I had no idea that was in the making.
Hey, good on.
I will buy this, Rob. This is a nice Sunday afternoon coffee and cake movie.
Wait a minute. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a Sunday afternoon coffee and cake movie. Could you give me more examples of a Sunday afternoon besides Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves? What are some other coffee and cake movies you watch over there in Saarbrücken, Deutschland?
I will try to make lists. It's just easy entertainment. Where you don't have to be involved completely. You just can breeze with it.
All right.
Have some nice coffee and cake.
I'll allow it. Okay.
Right.
Coffee and cake.
It's not Crimes of the Future.
That is definitely not a coffee and cake movie.
No, definitely not, Rob. Definitely not.
All right. Also, Arrow announced. Now, this movie is not. It's not.
And when I speak of coffee or cake, it's more family friendly. Generally, family friendly.
Sure, you could show your mom Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, totally.
Your mom might not dig Crimes of the Future.
No, definitely not.
Or behind you, I'm noticing. I just want to point out behind you, you have Martyrs back there, and Frontiers. I mean, you got some French exploitation. Or by the way, both of those movies are great.
Exactly.
Martyrs is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah,
changed my mind. But yeah, so we got that coming out, and then now this is another movie, not particularly great, but I've always liked it. Directed by Robert Wise. Before he made Star Trek: The Motion Picture, of course, Robert Wise co-directed West Side Story, edited Citizen Kane, made Sound of Music, and of course directed Star Trek: The Motion Picture. He directed this, Audrey Rose, based on the Frank Di Felitta novel, I believe, horror novel. First of all, I love this cover. I don't know where this came from, but I love this artwork is amazing. So that's coming out. Kind of excited for that. That's definitely something I'm going to buy. And then of course we knew this was coming out, but it's finally been announced with all the there's all the specs and everything. The second Shawscope from Arrow, they're putting out their second volume of these great Chinese martial arts staples of the 70s. Their first box was fucking amazing, so good, so happy to get box number 2. Did you get box number 1?
No, I haven't, Rob.
You missed out because it's like sold out.
Yeah.
Too bad. Now, but anyway, the Shawscope.
But it shows us, Rob, we can have new nice cover artwork. Mm-hmm. It's possible.
Now let's go down under. Let's go to the land down under to our folks at Via Vision, to Imprint.
Okay. Print. Yep.
Imprint announcing some new titles, and boy, let me tell you, first, their After Dark Neo-Noir Cinema Collection number 2. Let me just talk about some things in here. You've got Jamie Lee Curtis and Catherine Bigelow's Blue Steel. Blue Steel, one of the most genius movies ever made because Ron Silver is the villain. Ha ha ha. Joe Carnahan's Narc. Narc is fucking great. Never been on Blu-ray before. It's another one of those movies that I only have on DVD.
HD DVD, Rob.
You have
But
Narc on HD DVD?
I could be wrong.
I don't have it on. I love Narc, and this collection. You've got Chris McQuarrie's Way of the Gun. You've got The Yards, and one of the great. Let me just tell you, Internal Affairs with Andy Garcia and Richard Gere. That movie is fucking great. Mike Figgis directed it. He also did the score. It was written by Henry Bean. Have you seen Internal Affairs?
Yeah, but really, Rob, VHS days. So I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Richard Gere's villain. His name, Richard Gere's name, is Dennis Peck. What a great name for a villain, Dennis Peck. I think that William Atherton's character in Ghostbusters. Yes, it's true. The man has no dick. Was also named Walter Peck or something. Maybe that's why Henry Bean got the name. Now, I fucking love Internal Affairs, and I have it on Blu-ray, but I hope this is a new transfer because it was an early Blu-ray. And I gotta say, if anyone out there is listening right now, Henry Bean wrote the sequel to Basic Instinct. He wrote Basic Instinct 2. Risk Addiction, which is I'm gonna die on this hill. Basic Instinct 2 is better than people give it credit for. All right, and I'm gonna say right now, I'm the guy to make Basic Instinct 3. If I could make any sequel, right now, if somebody said, Rob, we're gonna give you $25 million, you got to make a sequel to a catalog title. Basic Instinct 3 is the way to go. Basic Instinct 3.
To go. Okay.
Here's it's all about Eve with Sharon Stone coming back to play Catherine Trammell. It's called Basic Instinct 3 Prodigy, or what's the word for? Yeah, Prodigy is the word. Basic Instinct 3 Prodigy. It is about a young budding female serial killer that has gone to Catherine Trammell, figured out she's a mass murderess, and wants to learn the trade. She's like Anne Baxter in All About Eve, and it becomes a cat and mouse game between the two of them. I'm telling you, slide into my DMs. Let's make a deal. Basic Instinct 3 Prodigy. Come on now. It's really
a nice collection from Imprint. They're really fitting.
Yeah, this is a really great this After Dark collection. Go Imprint. They rule. And then another thing they're putting out, which I'm really also excited about, is directed by Roland Joffe, or Jaffe. You've got City of Joy, A Fat Man and Little Boy, which aren't great, but you got The Killing Fields and The Mission, which are great films. And it's really interesting because I believe The Mission and The Killing Fields are Warner Brothers movies. But anyway, I like that Imprint is putting this out. More prestige titles. I'm a Roland Joffe fan. I remember I reviewed The Killing Fields for my high school newspaper, so that's pretty exciting. Hey, could I give you a minute to just opine? Talk. I pulled out the plug of my computer and I need to go plug it back in. So
okay,
I hand it over to you.
I will talk a little bit about the stuff I have seen on streaming services this week. Because I finished, finally it came back, Never Have I Ever, one of the great sitcoms, I would say, on Netflix, which came out with the season 3, and we will get a season 4, which will be the final one. And if you have Never Have I Ever, you don't actually need Miss Marvel, okay? Then, this was a great tip from my friend Simon, and season 2 came out, The Outlaws, from Stephen Merchant with Christopher Walken. Really great series, and it is out on Amazon Prime in some countries, but actually not in Germany. In Germany, it's not on Amazon Prime. So The Outlaws, second season, really great stuff, and they filmed both seasons back to back. So The Outlaws, really recommendation from me. Then on Paramount Plus, I watched Rob Orphan, the first
Oh,
kill.
you know what?
Isabel
How
Fuhrman.
was it?
Yeah.
Because I liked the first Orphan quite a bit.
Yeah, the first Orphan was great. And the second one, Rob, was not too shabby too.
Now, was this really a prequel to the first Orphan?
Exactly, Rob. This is the strangest thing. This is a prequel to the 2008 one. And I know now you will ask, how will they make Isabel Fuhrman, who was 12 and they did the first one, and now she's playing even a younger version of that, which is totally crazy. Let me just say, Rob,
she's 14 years older.
Yeah, exactly. So the picture quality is really soft, you know. The picture quality is really soft, so that's not a prestige demo material considering the picture quality. And the movie has once again, and they do some double stuff. They do a lot of background shots where it's obviously a child, you know. So if you can get past that verisimilitude, which is tough to do in that movie. But the movie comes with a nice twist again, which I didn't see coming, but I'm not really good at figuring out twists beforehand. So at that point, first it was, okay, it's a little bit wonky. But then the twist happened, and then it got actually quite nicely, Rob. But it's really fitting for immediately to stream on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
It's not perhaps good enough for us.
It's so funny
because I totally loved the first one.
I want to say the first one I think was produced by Dark Castle and Joel Silver, because when we went to the Sitges Film Festival in 2008 with The Hills Run Red, so The Hills Run Red, the horror film I produced, which one day you're going to get a Blu-ray for, signed by Dave Parker. The Orphan was there as well, and we went with the girl who plays the orphan, and they made masks of her face for everybody to hold up. It was a lot of fun, and I met her. Did you
see the twist of the first one coming, Rob? Did you know it ahead of time?
No, I didn't know it ahead of time, and I had a lot of fun with that movie. So that's cool.
Exactly. And it will come out on Blu-ray. Orphan First Kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Now I want to know who actually made. I didn't even look into the credits. Just that it's cool that it came out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But like you said, Rob, you have to get over the fact that she's playing. She's older now, but playing even a younger version of herself. But now we know the twist, Rob. So it actually, if you put one eye down, it actually works. On Friday, I watched Stallone, Samaritan. And I had a good time. With it. Once again, from my perspective, I didn't see the surprise coming. 94 minutes, quick, nicely done with the action setting. And considering it's on Amazon, I didn't know what the company it was. It is an MGM title, Rob. So I think since Amazon bought MGM, that this movie gotten under the belt. Sure. And Amazon is still releasing stuff on this, which they have on their streaming service as 4K, like Jolt and other stuff. So I actually have quite hopes that this will come out as a 4K disc, and I will buy Samaritan because I had a nice time.
Really? A lot of people said it was like a throwback, like an 80s throwback or a 90s throwback, and that it is
that a bet?
That's not for me to say. That's for
okay.
Yeah, I
had a nice time with
Dieter. This is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah, exactly.
We judge not. We judge not on this show. We
judge not? Okay.
We judge not. Anybody can be whoever they want here. You tell me that, your favorite movie in the world is the sequel to Rocky Horror, Shock Treatment. I'll tell you, it didn't work for me.
Wasn't that the movie you walked out?
The only movie I ever worked out of in my life. But if you love it, by God, love it with all your heart.
And of course, I forgot, Better Call Saul was a final... The final season, the final episode, and I will, of course, buy Better Call Saul.
Keep spoiler free. I'm waiting for the box set to watch it all.
Yeah.
Okay, waiting for that.
Okay.
Okay.
I will buy two because it was great. So Better Call Saul, never have I ever. Great sitcom, Rob. Totally recommend. Orphan First Kill and The Outlaws, still a great recommendation for me. And Samaritan.
I am not done with some of the announcements of movies this week. Now. Here is another movie that I've only had on DVD that I thought I might never see come to HD. This is a very culty title that stars the lovely Diane Lane. And it is a movie called Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. It's basically about a punk band. There's new special features. I love this movie. Not a lot of people have seen this movie. If you're a fan, I mean, this is kind of a very culty 80s film. Man, do I love this movie, and it's a full special edition. It looks like they ported over everything from the DVD. I never thought, I mean, Imprint's just slaying it. I don't know if they're delving in whose catalogs. I mean, I have to ask George Feltenstein how Imprint was able to get some Warner titles, maybe because those titles are no longer owned by Warner's anymore. But, I mean, to see this coming out from Imprint could be different. I mean, but seeing this come out on Blu-ray, I'm like, fuck yeah, man, bring that shit on. Because now the things that excite me the most are films like Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, which are terrific movies that I love that you might not, something, it's funny, they have nothing to do with each other, but another film that I love that Keith Gordon directed that has nothing to do with Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, The Chocolate War, which is based on Robert Cormier's novel. One of my favorite teen films of the 80s is coming out on disc. It's an incredible movie, and I thought that might never come out. And in my collection of discs, my physical media collection, there are still these DVDs, and I like nothing better than to take those DVDs out and replace them with Blu-rays or 4K discs. So very excited that, Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains is coming out, and Imprint is also putting out, and it's funny, they're also putting out the great City of God. And City of God is an incredible film. Brazil and the favelas, it's incredible. If you've seen Tony Scott's amazing Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, a lot of the style of that film was lifted from City of God, including the subtitling. I really love City of God coming out from Imprint. Definitely an immediate purchase for me. And then the final thing that's worth noting, I mean, by the way, this is not all of the discs that have been announced. This is only the discs that I think are of particular interest to our audience. Actually, let's face it, they're of particular interest to me. so that's why I choose. That's why I choose to show them. That's because it's my show, Bear. I mean, it's our show, but And then finally, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder has finally been announced for. I kind of like this wacky cover. This is a very metal cover, and you gotta like this. This might be, to be honest, Thor: Love and Thunder might be my least favorite MCU movie.
I could be in the same boat, Rob. But I have to watch it again when it comes out on Disney Plus to make a little more newer judgment. Seeing it again, always good to give a second screening for a movie to know how you feel about it. But it could be there, Rob. It could be bottom tier.
Not a fan, buddy.
And if the covers weren't that great, I would, because the 3D was not good, considering Thor: Love and Thunder and the shooting in the volume, So considering I didn't thought the 3D was great in the movie, so I will not buy the Japanese release.
I mean,
of it.
Only because I can't have, if I don't buy Thor: Love and Thunder, and when I do have Wakanda Forever, I would have 29 of 30 Marvel 4K discs. And what if somebody ever came to my house and looked at my Marvel collection and said, You've got like 5 different versions of every Marvel movie, but you don't have Thor: Love and Thunder. How come?
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like, man.
Man.
I don't want to be that dude.
Yeah.
Or maybe I do. Maybe I'm stepping up. I own Rise of Skywalker, which is not only the worst Star Wars movie.
Too, Rob.
It's one of the most god-awful. I don't think I will ever watch that movie again. Ever. There is nothing in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker that I need to ever see again. Ever. Yeah. But, it was a box set, so I had to have it. I mean, I would rather watch the Concorde Airport 79 again than the Rise of Skywalker. And the Concorde Airport 79 is not good. But it's a way more enjoyable. I mean, if you're looking at sequels to movies, the Concorde Airport 79 is better than Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So those are the releases I thought were worth talking about. And now, of course, we go to our quick sales figures. The top 10 Blu-ray bestsellers ending for the week of August 20th. Jurassic World Dominion, no surprise, at the top, which I will not be buying. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, The Black Phone, Doctor Strange, Jurassic World The Ultimate Collection, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, Child's Play, The Lost City, Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2-movie collection, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You know what's so funny about this? I haven't shown it yet, but of these movies, like only 3 of them I want. I already have Indiana Jones. I already have Red Dawn. I don't need The Lost City. I don't need Child's Play. I don't need Fantastic Beasts. I'm not going to buy Dominion. I have Doctor Strange. I haven't shown it yet, and I'll get The Black Phone. But that's about it. Don't need those. So next we've got the top 5 home media sellers. These are top 5 entirely, including DVD. Yes, DVD still sells 50% of the physical media in the world. So we got Jurassic World Dominion, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, The Black Phone, Doctor Strange, and Jurassic World. No surprises there. All new releases. The 3D. Yes, folks, 3D. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 3D, 4.20%. 4% of everything that's being sold. Dune 3D still selling. Top Gun 3D, not a surprise. Pokemon Detective Pikachu in 3D and Minions 3D. You know, with all these are always up there, you'd think that everybody who has 3D would be already have these titles, but apparently not. Apparently not. I mean, they're still selling. Good for you. Unbelievable. Nope, that list is not, it's so crazy. Maybe they just keep those numbers. And then finally, the top 5 4K bestsellers. Now, look at this, studio heads. Look at the number 1 and the number 2 and the number 3 and the number 4 best-selling 4K titles. Of the top 5 bestsellers on 4K disc, 4 are catalog titles. Red Dawn from 84, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade from 1989, Child's Play from the early 90s, Heat from 90, was that 95? And then the Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is new. All those are new titles. People want their classical, they want their classic titles, man. Come on, studios, and they're doing it. Warner Brothers they're doing a bang up job. So are a lot of these boutique companies putting out stuff in 4K. I know it's expensive to remaster your movies, but hey, man, people want them.
Exactly.
So
where we go from here, Rob?
Where do we go? Well, if you're a Buffy fan, and someone asks you where do we go from here, well, you say the battle's done and we kind of won, so we'll shed our victory tear. Tell me, where do we go from here? And then someone would say, but Rob, you can't talk about Buffy because Joss Whedon made it, and Joss Whedon's canceled. Ooh. And by the way, talk about something that we were done dirty by the HD transfers of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't know what horrible Fox, whoever was in charge of doing that, the biggest travesty of any TV show transferred to HD is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Still to this day, somebody should go in and remaster the entire series again. What a travesty that is. I don't know where that came from, but where do we go from here? I got more to show. Do you have more to show?
Yeah, I have more to show too, Rob. Who starts?
You start.
Okay, I start. Okay. I think you showed this already, Rob, 14 days ago. I got my Flatliners.
Oh, have you?
4K.
Now, have you watched that yet?
No, I didn't get around to it. And it comes with the reversible cover artwork.
The transfer of that movie, again, shot by Jan de Bont, the great Dutch cinematographer. It looks incredible.
Awesome. That's
incredible. All the former transfers of that movie on home video look like shit, just like Die Hard. It looks great. Jan de Bont's had a good couple of years on home video.
Exactly. Nice. Flatliners in 4K. Other stuff in 4K. I think you showed this too, Rob. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Did I? Maybe.
Ino Lorber.
I don't even remember.
I think so, Rob. So, Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind, but no other cover artwork underneath it. Then, of course, Child's Play 1 from Shout Factory, but no reversible cover artwork, so it's the same. And the first one is a 3-disc set.
Nice.
So you have the new 4K transfer, on Blu-ray then, and a Blu-ray with special features. Unfortunately, I can't show the second one because it was damaged beyond repair. Will get a new one. I still have the discs, but the outer shell, the O-ring, was completely damaged. So luckily, the first one survived.
And Child's Play 2 sucks.
It doesn't, Rob. It doesn't. It's a great sequel to the first one. Great sequel. And the third one, which I haven't seen in a long time, which is the same.
Hey, if you like it, who am I to
Chucky is
harsh your
great.
mellow?
Chucky is great. Chucky 2 is awesome because I watched it yesterday, Rob. Chucky, Child's Play 2. So I hope that the second one will come later. And the next one, I think Rob showed on Instagram already, but I have no Best Buy in my area, so I got just the standard release of Red Dawn.
Have you looked at it? The transfer is very pretty.
No, Rob. I didn't get around to it. Do you have your steelbook lying around?
I do actually. Hang on, I've got
because
I do.
Because I don't think you showed it on the. You didn't show it on the show. You only showed it on Instagram.
Oh,
there you go.
Well, here you go. I mean, here's the Red Dawn steelbook, the Best Buy steelbook, and it's got. I forgot. I forgot. I did put this in my pile. Yeah, it's nice. I really like this steelbook. It's cool. I really like this movie. I mean, you go back. I remember watching this. I went to an early screening of this movie that it had a scene where Russian tanks were driving through the drive-through at McDonald's, and they actually had to cut that scene out of the film because one of the first modern mass shootings in America was at a McDonald's in San Diego. So they edited the scene out. But I love the opening of this movie where the Russian paratroopers land at the high school. It's great. And John Milius, who directed this, of course, was a writer on Apocalypse Now, and he directed Conan the Barbarian. By the way, where's Conan the Barbarian in 4K? Where is that? Hello,
I have no idea.
Hello, Universal. Come on, we got Red Sonja coming out in 4K, but I got no Conan love. It's 40 years. Come on, man, put that shit out.
Yeah,
it's the 40th anniversary.
So, your take, Rob, new stuff.
Oh, so okay.
I still have stuff.
Oh, well, go ahead. Continue on.
I should continue. Okay, some German media books from Julian Fett, two from Miss Julian Fett. We have Cover Heart from Ringo Lam, but actually I don't think this is the original title. The Germans always change titles.
Could that be? Is that City on Fire? Is that Ringo Lam's City on Fire that Quentin Tarantino based Reservoir Dogs on?
It could be, Rob. It could be. Let me just.
It looks like it might be.
If I can find anything inside, perhaps about the original title, but perhaps you can know from the pictures, Rob, if it is City on Fire.
It looks like it could be. Yeah, I mean, it looks.
So it's from Ringo Lam.
Yeah.
Cover Heart. Next one is Julian Fett from John Woo. Once a Thief, or like we call it in Germany, Killer Target.
Yeah. Oh, I like that movie.
Yeah. Wasn't there a sequel to it? Or a remake?
Probably.
So, media book.
Once.
Killer Target. Once.
Twice. 3 times.
The next one, Rob, perhaps you can help me out.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. The original title is Bloody Birthday, but here it's called just Fear, Angst.
Bloody Birthday.
Bloody Birthday is.
Is it Happy Birthday to Me? Is it Melissa? That might be Happy Birthday to Me. In America, it's called. Is Melissa Sue Anderson in it?
Let me just.
Is it Melissa Sue Anderson from Little House on the
Belinda
Prairie?
Cordell, Laurie Lethen, Joseph Hara as the doctor.
Oh.
So Bloody. It says Bloody Birthday is the original title. Here it's called Fear.
Well,
so
there you go.
Cat in the bag.
All right. Well, you got to report back and tell us what you think.
Yeah. Another German switcheroo, considering the title. The original was, I think, let me just see if I can find it on the back somewhere. I think it was Time Bomb or something like that. But the German one is Nameless, Total Terminator, because Michael Biehn is in it. So action
Who
Action-driven.
directed that?
Avi Nesher.
Yeah, Avi Nesher. Yeah. Is it?
Avi
I
Nesher.
think in America is that either called Time Bomb?
Time Bomb.
I think it's
Exactly.
called Time
Bomb.
Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah. But here it's Rob, Nameless, Total Terminator. This was a Schnäppchen. It was price reduced, and I thought, okay, cover looks nice. Little 90s action.
Yeah. Time Bomb. It's not great, by the way. But hey.
Okay. Nameless. But look shiny.
It is very shiny.
This afternoon, normally, before the show, I watch sometimes often Korean movies. This afternoon, I didn't get around to it, but looks nice. And sometimes I find out that the movie is already older. So this is older too. It's called Missing You. Korean movie,
Wow.
German media book.
Well, we love our Korean cinema, so hey.
Yeah, totally.
It looks like
Yeah.
the Christian Bale
Seldomly-
movie, The
seldomly-
Machinist.
They seldomly disappoint. So I will looking forward to see what this movie entails for me. Missing You. And the next one, the original title was Death Warrant, I believe, with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Here it's called with Steely Fists, I would say, mit stählerner Faust. Death Warrant as a
course.
media book. And they said it has a newer transfer, the movie.
Oh, that's
but I
good.
didn't get around to it. So a little Van Damme action back from the
What's not to love?
90s. And it has what is new, exclusive, a new interview with Cynthia Gibb is on it.
Well, God,
Okay.
we need that in our lives.
That's wrong. With Jean-Claude.
All right.
You take over, Rob.
Well, I've got, let's see, I got only 3 left. Of course, when Stanley Kubrick, another Kubrick comes out in 4K, Paths of Glory, one of Stanley Kubrick's best movies. Kino Lorber put this out in 4K, following up their releases of Killer's Kiss and The Killing. I mean, this is one of the great anti-war movies ever made. Kubrick, I mean, his use of the camera work in the trenches, World War I trenches, this is a great fucking movie. More Kubrick on 4K. I mean, I guess Warner Brothers can't do a big box set of Kubrick on 4K, but hey, we've got this. Now, where's Barry Lyndon? Barry Lyndon in 4K. Come on, Warner Brothers, or maybe Criterion. Now, while I did not get I did not bust on the 3D.
Okay.
I did get, finally, I got my Doctor Strange in the
nice.
Multiverse of Madness big box set. I think I got this from Zavvi. Now, it does come, I mean, it's interesting because I've been getting all the 4K steelbooks.
Yeah.
It's funny because, and of course, it has, if I take it out, it has the steelbook. I really actually like this artwork.
Yeah,
So
totally.
it's got the
That looks
steelbook
fine.
artwork. It's really cool. So it has the steelbook, but normally I have all my steelbooks in, I buy those clear sleeves.
Yes.
Well, this is obviously too big for that. It's a box, and it comes with a really cool book. So
nice.
Yeah, this book it's shiny and
And
a
the
lot
different cover artwork on it. It's always great.
yeah, I mean the cover artwork on so a lot of different pieces of artwork, a lot of different cover art.
That's what I like. Different art.
I do too. So this is a cool set to have finally.
Nice.
I want to say I ordered this from Zavvi, so it might be the Zavvi. It just took a while. I forget where I ordered it from. And speaking of forgetting what I ordered, this showed up. Now, I bought the
Oh,
steelbook.
you have Weisen.
Yeah, dude. The collector's edition of Event Horizon. Now, of course,
So you got your blueprint too.
yeah. So it's got the it's got the steel book in it, which is fine, but then it's got the swag, the event, and you
Yeah.
know what is life if you don't have an Event Horizon box of swag, which I haven't even opened. I don't even know what's in here. So first of all, there's I mean, look at this. Because, I'll have to buy a jeans jacket and put this on. U.S. Aerospace Command, Search and Rescue, the Lewis and Clark. It comes with
When you travel to Mars.
and then you've got an Event Horizon pin if you're a member of the crew. And then, of course, and, maybe one day I'll get this framed and hang it up in the bathroom. The great, Event Horizon blueprint.
Awesome.
The schematic of the Event Horizon. Because, everybody needs that. And as I said, one day, now being a homeowner, I have a repository for all of this ridiculous swag. And, you get, it's funny. I don't know if it's a Pavlovian response, but I'm like, I look at a patch like this, and I'm like, oh my God, I need a Lewis and Clark patch. Do I though? Really? I mean, if you really think about it, I don't. But you know what? The answer to the question, as you know, Dieter, is once you have it, the answer to the question of, do I really need this? The answer is, of course, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
And you have the steelbook in it, and the outer shell has the original key art.
Oh yeah, which
Considering the movie
you've got the collector's edition sticker. Again, I don't even remember ordering this. I had already got the steelbook. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get the steelbook. Now it's all sold out. Maybe I should give the steelbook away.
And
who knows?
considering it comes from Paul W.S. Anderson, it's just fitting that the steelbook resembles Resident Evil a little bit.
It is. It's true. It's true. So that's what I got. Now, we got lots of super chats and tips.
Okay.
And people are coming in. Now, who sent in a tip? Fernando Barrero.
Ooh.
First of all, Fernando, how's your mom? Hope she's well. Please say hello to her for me. Fernando says, hi, gentlemen. Should I get this is a good question, Dieter. Should I get the Top Gun Maverick 4K Steelbook or the 2-movie 4K set? Also, do you think we'll see Sergio Leone's The Man with No Name trilogy 4K as a set rather than individually? By the way, RMB, Mom is doing well and says hello. He knew what I was going to say. Well, okay, these are good questions. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have Top Gun already, it depends how you feel about it. I really like the steelbooks, so I bought the Top Gun 4K steelbook. I ordered the Top Gun Maverick 4K steelbook as well. What about you?
You're right, Rob. It all depends if you probably own already the first Top Gun. But considering if you don't, as I totally love the cover artwork with for the 2 movies that they did. It's not a steelbook, just the standard Emery with Tom in the middle. You have pictures from the first one on the left and new one on the right. So it's totally a great cover for me. So I will probably get both, Rob, even if I have the first one on 4K. So it's really tough to answer. But like Rob said, if you don't have any Top Gun at all, I would go for the double package. Just simple as that.
Yeah, so it's really a choice. I think that's a.
And
good,
the other one was the other one that he wanted to know.
Well, he was just wondering which Top Guns. What should he get?
Okay.
So I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Sonny Dominguez, who's been a member for 15 months of the channel. Thank you, Sonny.
Ooh.
And by the way, Sonny came and saw Tango Shalom. So I thank him for that. By the way, do you know that Tango Shalom was released September 3rd? It's almost been a year since Tango Shalom came out.
Ooh.
Isn't that crazy?
Anniversary.
I mean, it's coming up. So Sonny Dominguez says, glad I am not the only one who has what the fuck thoughts regarding men. Did I miss something? A friend says it's because I'm not familiar with UK horror. No, I think you're familiar with UK horror. It's just batshit insane.
Yeah. I don't get the connection with UK horror.
Well, I think because Men is basically Alex Garland's he's a Brit, And
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it plays in London. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
I would I could see that. I mean, there's a different vibe with UK horror. I could see that, but I think it's just a crazy movie that's left open to
Yeah.
interpretation. I don't
Exactly.
I don't think just
And you
because you
don't,
know
and you won't forget the last 10 minutes. You won't forget it,
no
no
no you
matter what you
won't
think about the movie.
no you won't.
You won't.
Stub McShave says, "How many of the week's purchases will you watch, and how many are just added to the collection?" Come on, be truthful. Don't lie.
Be truthful. Okay. I would say probably 80 to the collection and 20% that I watch because we have all that new streaming shiny stuff, Rob, that I have to watch to get with the program, And it always depends. This afternoon, I actually wanted to watch Rob. What I watch? Oh, should I watch Missing You? Should I watch Child's Play 3 because I watched Child's Play 2 on Saturday? And then Rob, what did I do? I watched only Murders in the Building.
Did you watch the season 2 finale?
No, Rob. I'm still at season 1. I'm still at season 1.
Okay.
I'm late. I'm late to the game. But like you, Rob, I just clicked, Rob. I just clicked, So I watched only Murders in the Building. I only have one left in the first season.
Okay. It's pretty good.
So probably double 80 that will go somewhere here, and 20 that I will get around. If it's newer stuff like Baby Assassins, Men, Crimes of the Future, these all I try almost to watch immediately because they are always interesting me to see the new stuff. But like Flatliners, I don't know when I get around to watch Flatliners.
Yeah.
Child's Play 2, I watched Crimes of the Future on Saturday. This was a newer one. And then this movie was already not too long, but I said, okay, 90 minutes. What I have was 90 minutes. Okay, Child's Play 2 came to mind. No.
I sample most of the stuff I buy because I want to see what the transfers look like. And so I'll look at stuff, but, it all comes down to, I mean, when I have time to, like, I find myself going back randomly throwing stuff in my collection on. But for things like I can't wait to look at, like that when you get a Blu-ray, like the Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains. When I get that, I'll watch that because I can't wait to see it in HD. So if it's something I don't have, and Doctor Strange, I only saw once in the theater, I'll throw it on and zip through it or whatever, or sit down and watch. I find myself watching the whole thing, but yeah.
Oh, like yesterday, I didn't watch Child's Play 1 because that movie I pretty much know pretty well. But Child's Play 2 I haven't watched in a long time, so I actually decided to watch Child's Play 2 yesterday.
Nice. Marcus Bisma says, I like Snyder's Watchmen, but the HBO series is so bizarre. I think it is. The HBO series is really weird. And again, the HBO series was, to me, it was an example of how they really wanted to make a show about racism in America. And they decided to use the Watchmen as a vehicle to do it. And it was sort of, some of it I thought was really great, and some of it was really weird. And to me, Watchmen is a perfect example of why TV creators, and I didn't hate the Watchmen show, but to me, the Watchmen show is a perfect example of why you if you're going to start with your messaging and you're going to come out and say, we're going to make a show about racism in America, and then you decide to use Watchmen as the vehicle to do it, to me, it was the height of hubris when it comes to TV creators, because they're going to be like, well, let us tell you what you don't know, that racism is bad, and we're going to put it in the context of Watchmen. And I even read a interview with Damon Lindelof where he was talking about that. He goes, well, Watchmen deals with the annihilation of the human race through nuclear catastrophe. And so, but I think the biggest danger facing the human race now is racism. And it's like, come on, dude, really? And at the same time, he was the person that was saying, yeah, TV writers try and out-woke each other. So to me, the HBO Watchmen series is the ultimate example of bizarre. It's bizarre. Okay. But the movie's all right. Paul Nolan says, "Hi, Robin Deets. I saw Benedetta last week. I thought it was one of the best films of the year. I bought it on streaming to see, and I'm glad I did." Well, that's
did you get around to it, Rob?
Oh yes,
to Benedetta.
I liked it.
Your take? Oh yeah, me too.
I thought it was.
Unfortunately, Stubble didn't like it.
Well, the thing is, you know what the thing? Here's the thing. I would say that Verhoeven's last movie and Benedetta are on a lower key. I mean, Paul Verhoeven's movies were a bit over the top, especially his English language films. Everything from Flesh and Blood to RoboCop to Total Recall to Starship Troopers to Basic Instinct to The Hollow Man. They were all very much over the top, whereas Benedetta and L were much more low key, that harked back to his earlier works in Holland. So I liked it. By the way, if anyone's listening, I'd really like to get Paul Verhoeven's The Fourth Man on 4K. And or even on HD. Can we have that's another DVD I'd love to get rid of. We got Spetters on HD. I want Soldier of Orange, and I want to get The Fourth Man. Sly Snide or Snide, Sly Snide, just sends in, just says hello. He's been a member for 16 months, and thanks for being a member.
Rob, she.
Oh, she's she. Sly Snide is she. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Do we know her, Sly Snide?
It's Catherine, Rob. Catherine.
Oh, how did I not know that? Did she change her name?
I don't think so, Rob. I don't think so.
I didn't know that. Well, Catherine, hello.
Hello.
Now I know. Ron C sends in a $50 super chat.
Ron.
It says, "Hello, gents. I've completed the book In the Blink of an Eye, which is a great nonfiction book by the great Walter Murch on film editing. Walter states his ideal cutting style are the following: emotion, story, rhythm, plus 3 more. Rewatchability is what I'll push. Rob, as an editor, thoughts?" I would agree with that. I mean, obviously, emotion, story, and rhythm as the first 3 things. I mean, I totally agree with that. In the Blink of an Eye is one of the most influential books that I've ever read. I love that book so much, and Walter Murch he's an amazing editor and sound designer, and his work is really impeccable. He also wrote a book on editing the movie Cold Mountain on Final Cut. No one had really used Final Cut to edit a feature, but he did. Another great book to read. So yeah, Terrier sends in a super chat from Norway and says, "Just go watch Lamb, one of the best in a while."
That is one of the movies I didn't get around to yet.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I can't. I think it came out on disc. Another
it's out on 4K here in Germany.
I need to watch that. So, yeah, I need to watch that. So, yeah,
Me too.
I gotta go get that.
But considering sometimes, the reviews, they are mixed, you put it a little bit more on hold, like other stuff that's got better reviews, you push to the forefront. So Lamp, I don't quite know, but Terry really is banging the drum for it,
Yeah, which we definitely want to see.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah.
So are we caught up with the super chats, Rob?
Yeah, we are caught up with super chats and tips. So yes, we are.
Then I have 2 letters, Rob.
All right.
To do. One comes from our longtime watcher Tim Hens, who had his birthday this week. So Tim Hens, I hope you got your Star Trek Discovery box set. 1 to 3.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you even do this to me?
No, I did it to Tim, and I will never hear the end of it. Okay, but he writes, Rob, greets and guten Abend to Deets, guten Morgen, Rob, and hello to fellow esteemed imagination connoisseurs in the chat. Having recently watched the Star Trek: The Motion Picture Director's Edition in 4K at my local UK cinema, and with the complete adventure box set due for release very soon, I thought I would give my views on how the movie turned out. To begin with, this is simply one of the finest, superior, and sublime restorations and remastering done to a movie. Fans of the movie have been asking for a 4K restoration for years. Now they have it and they won't be disappointed. Having previously watched the movie dozens upon dozens of times over the years, in comparison here, there were mostly positives, but still a few very minor negatives I have very slight issues with, which are only small and very subtle, yet doesn't ruin what an amazing job they have done on the restoration. To begin with the positives. At least 99% of the movie was a positive. For example, I always had a problem with the matte lines around the Klingon ships at the beginning and similar matte lines around the moons and planets while Spock was traveling through the Vija interior. Now that those lines have been removed and totally cleaned up, the presentation is close to immaculate as you can imagine. I especially like the moment after the Enterprise fly over the exterior. You actually get to see in the extreme wide shot the Enterprise turn and face the aft of Vija.
Yep.
And the guy in spacesuit attempting to escape the destruction of the Epsilon 9 space station, which originally looked stop motion, has been wisely fixed. The color grading and sound mix being another instant plus and bonus. The negatives? Only a minor few, which mostly revolve around very tiny cutscenes, which wouldn't amount much to the movie's running time. I agree with Rob, they should have left in the viewer offline during the rec deck scene. The scene in sickbay when Kirk asks Spock, "What should you have known?" They should have left in the extra Bones line from Kirk when McCoy attempts to interrupt him. The line, "A machine planet, setting a machine to Earth looking for its creator, it's absolutely incredible," is a nice piece of commentary which should have remained.
Yep.
And the Vija line from Kirk to the Ilya probe after McCoy comments Vija thinks the creator is a machine definitely should have stayed. Should Rob get around to doing his much desired fan edit, it would be nice if those small scenes remain intact. To end, it was a relief. It was a relief too. They eventually got around to fixing the blooper with the different colored armbands on Spock and McCoy's
Yes.
away mission jackets, which previously swapped arms. My final analysis, despite tiny nitpicks, this is one magnificent restoration. Even Robert Wise himself would have been immensely proud of. To quote at the end of the movie for Bob, and to quote from me to the ultimate fanboy of the movie, for Rob, live long and prosper, everyone. Keep those imaginations running wild. Movies are and remain the stuff that dreams are made of. This came from Tim Henslow. A little bit on Star Trek.
Well, thanks, Tim. And you and I park our shuttlecrafts. As I always say, you and I park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. You know, there's a lot of, I have to say, there's a lot of and, you know, I know the people that, Darren Dockerman's obviously a dear friend. I really think that the restoration of Star Trek The Motion Picture it will never be as fully realized as it could have been. This new version is really well done, but they didn't have enough time and enough money, so there's things that I really don't like about it that unfortunately, the resources weren't there to do it correctly, but a lot of those little moments I find inexplicable why they're missing from the movie, like those things that Tim Hans pointed out. There's a great line where Persis Kambata just says, as the Ilea probe, "V'ger does not know." And it's something I've always really liked because it seemed like as far as a probe from V'ger could be, there's a little melancholy there, like, oh, V'ger doesn't know, he's kind of bummed out, you know. And I think that there's, you know, when you do restorations, it's really important to have a director involved. Now, they had Robert Wise, but when Robert Wise was involved 20 years ago before he passed away, you know, he was very old, and it was not a favorite film of his. So I think the restoration represents some of what he wanted, maybe not all of what he wanted. I mean, obviously, I was really happy to see, like, the new sound mix is spectacular, and what they did with the effects is spectacular. But there's a better, if you take, and I'm going to do a fan edit. I've never wanted to do a fan edit of anything before, but because they've released 3 different versions, I'll do a Blu-ray. I'm going to do a Blu-ray quality version, the ultimate. I'll do the Rob Burnett fan edit and put everything back that I want. I've never wanted to do that with a movie before, but now I do. So.
And you have probably the footage to do it.
Now
with
you've got everything. And there's definitely, because there's things that I would just put back, little things that I think will make the movie more fulfilling emotionally.
Nice. So another letter, just a short one, from Brian Knight. And his subject is, what are your 10 DVD commandments? Robert and Ida, what are the 10 DVD commandments which must be followed if you own physical media? Brian, I would have to think a week about it to come up with the 10 commandments and stone
commandments
tablets.
We're going to bring down the burning bush, to whatever. We're going to bring our slabs of the 10 DVD commandments. For me, it's. I'll tell you one thing. What you want with physical media, first and foremost, is the best version of the movie itself. Yeah. You want the best transfer. You want the best sound. You want the best representation, because otherwise none of it matters. Special features don't matter. The movie itself has to have. We have to get the best. And with 4K, this is the last time you're going to get movies on physical media. So you want the very best version of the film possible. And that's what you're looking for. Nothing else matters other than that. And so that would be my ultimate number one
commitment.
Yeah.
to look out for. Okay.
Yep.
So I still have two titles to show, Rob. Okay. And the first one you have shown, I'm pretty sure, 14 days ago, but now I've got mine too. I've got Agenda.
Ooh, have you watched it? It looks beautiful.
No, Rob, once again, one title. I didn't get around to it, but you have skipped through it?
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Nice. And I don't know, Rob, if you have shown the insides of it.
I don't know if I did.
Last week. So we have let's see if we have we have an irreversible cover artwork. Then I think, Rob, you have the art cards and the little synapse booklet that they will probably bring out in the future. And of course we have the nice booklet for the movie. So I don't know how it differs to the Arrow version that came out. Probably not from the transfer, but I don't know if the special features are different. But I did like the American cover artwork a little bit better from Synapse. So I did go with the American version. And the next one, I don't know if you have it already, Rob, or if you have shown it, but I got the second side one of course, Doc.
I haven't got mine. I ordered it.
You ordered it, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the 4K version. I didn't get around to check it, but I'm really looking forward to it, considering the movie itself. Help me, Rob. I believe it was shot on 16 millimeter.
Yes.
The movies, so it always looked very grainy, and so I'm really looking forward how the 4K.
It's Neil Marshall's Evil Dead, shot on 16 millimeter,
exactly.
grungy.
Exactly. Once again, it comes with, this was just the other stuff. A little bit of field notes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Second sight's the best.
Yeah, totally. And we get some cards for it. So I'm really looking forward how the movie will look now, because it was released as a 4K here, and I have the 4K here, but it wasn't that thrilling, and I don't think it's probably not the same transfer that they were doing
this is a new transfer
for this movie. Yeah, exactly. So Dog Soldier from Neil Marshall. So actually, Rob, we could use the Descent too on 4K.
Why is the Descent not on 4K? I don't know. And
so second side, get on that as the next.
Well, I've got one more thing to show.
Okay.
I forgot to show
this. Was my last one, Dog Soldiers.
Now, this movie is totally a cult movie that I actually adore. And it was put out by Vinegar Syndrome. I forgot to show it in my Vinegar Syndrome box set. Craig Schaefer and Pia Zadora, Voyage of the Rock Aliens. And again, great O-ring slipcase.
Awesome.
It comes with the original poster art. This movie's insane, and it's ridiculous, and it's hilarious, and I love it. And I can't even believe that it got made when Pia Zadora was hooked up with some like multi-billionaire that tried to make her a star, so she was in like Butterfly and this. And this movie's got some pretty great 80s music in it. The aliens show up on a giant electric guitar spaceship. I mean, obviously this is a cult movie. It's not for everybody, but God bless. I've wondered where this movie is. Like there are two movies that I would say this was one of them, and there's another movie called Prayer of the Roller Boys that stars Corey Haim and Patricia Arquette. I
remember that, Rob. Weren't they skating?
It was about a rollerblading gang that was dealing drugs in a sort of a dystopian Venice, California.
Yeah. I remember VHS. I watched it on VHS back in the day.
And it's funny. It's like Gaga Communications made like Prayer of the Roller Boys and Solar Crisis back in like 1990. And hey, Solar Crisis. Hey, if you want another movie about a solar crisis, you could do worse. But so Voyage of the Rock Aliens, there you go. By the way, Stubble McShave fires in another super chat and says, I watched Benedetta streaming via the local library's e-movies. That's what libraries are for, watching lesbian nuns rather than borrow a book. Well, Stubble, you're right. You're right about that. 100%. Thank God.
Nice.
So, yeah. You got to love that. So I think that's the end, right? We're here at the end now.
Okay. I have one last letter, Rob, and it fits actually with the ending of our show. You did send me the letter just before the show. And it comes from our friend Vincent from France. And he says, Hi, Rob. Guten Tag, Dieter. Forgive my ignorance, but where does the wonderful motto of the PGS channel, everyone you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, comes from? Is this a quote from Rob or from a movie? Also, could Rob say it in German once? Best regards, Vincent from France. Well, Vincent, as far as I remember, since I watch Rob on the Burnettwork, it was always a staple of his shows. But where did he get from, Rob? Tell us.
I made it up. I mean, maybe somebody will tell me that it's really an amalgamation of something I read once, but it basically is part of my own belief system that I really believe that I honestly believe that. I mean, it's my driving sort of motto that everybody you meet does have a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And the only way you can hear it is if you listen to people. And, it's funny because I haven't done it in a while, but I would speak a lot to either college students or high school students, and I would use that in class. And I would say, like everybody has a story to tell, and people are like, you'd ask the class, is there anybody who thinks that they don't have a story to tell? And people would raise their hand saying they don't, and I'm like, I bet you do. And then you could ask people, like, tell me the first time a beloved pet of yours died. And then people get all like, oh, and they'll tell you a story. Or who was the first person you ever kissed? And if somebody hasn't kissed anybody, that's a story. But people's first kiss always has a story there. So, you can, when was the first time you lost a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, and uncle? What was the first time you ever saw a dead body? There's, and then suddenly people will start telling you, a lot of people just don't know they have stories to tell, but everybody does. And the underlying idea behind that is that everybody has a story that is worth listening to, that you can learn something from. And I honestly believe that. The same, it holds true with the idea that we are all of us in the cosmic infinitude of the universe. There's only one of each of us, which is insane, to be honest. So
there you go, Vincent. It's Rob's idea. Rob's idea. That's it.
But
doesn't come from a movie.
In terms of saying it in German, I can't speak German, but I know somebody who can.
Okay. And we have one last super chat from Cardinal Sin. Great show today, guys. And I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. Our friend Justin Toner of the channel, he's a moderator extraordinaire, says, "Hi guys, no new purchases right now. I'm just waiting for the Star Trek the Motion Picture 4K of the Director's Edition, Star Trek 5 and Star Trek 6 next week. Excited to add them to my collection, as am I." Dieter, have you watched Righting Wrongs yet?
Of course.
I'll be getting to it soon.
Awesome action movie from the 80s with Yun Pugh and Cynthia Rothrock, of course.
Righting Wrongs, that reminds me of a Sean Connery movie from the 80s I really want.
And of course, Justin, I prefer the darker ending of the movie, where our heroes, spoiler alert, Rob, both dies, Rob. Nobody survives in that version.
Well, there's a Sean Connery movie called Wrong is Right. It's kind of a political thriller that I would love to see come out on Blu-ray or 4K. If anybody has any information, contact me about Wrong is Right. People are like, wait, what? Look at it. It's a Sean Connery film. So does that end the 77th episode of Let's Get Physical Media?
Yeah, I would say so. So that I could get some least five hours sleep because I have early shift tomorrow.
Well, go have an early shift. I want to thank my co-host Dieter Bastian. Of course, I want to say thanks to our moderators. Tom Jr. Jackson and Justin Toner are here, and Lord Toth is here. Lord Toth, I saw Lord Toth, and he's a moderator, but he was saying that he doesn't think the Sandman series is well done. Now, everyone's got to each their own, but I would say I think it's one of the finest comic adaptations ever because it really does a faithful job. I mean, it's right. So much of the dialogue is right out of the comics, and I think it's actually a great show. By the way, somebody V says Prayer of the Roller Boys from 1990 is free on YouTube. Yeah, but it's 4x3. I want to get a real transfer of Prayer of the Roller Boys.
But it could be actually open Met, Rob. So
I don't think so. I think it's only because I have a DVD of it, and it's really shitty from a really bargain basement company. But you can pry it out of my cold, dead fingers because I'm not giving it up. No one can have my Prayer of the Roller Boys DVD.
Yeah. And considering one show that we didn't talk about, because I think it's a little bit too early to tell what my final judgment is, She-Hulk, but I liked your statement at the John Campea show that it's not working or it's not structured like a sitcom where you have, like you said, you have the plot line R, you have the plot line B, sometimes even a plot C, considering all characters, and the whole plot line will resolve at the end of the episode. So in that form, like you said, it's more, once again, like a movie shut up into different sections.
Yes.
At the moment.
Yes.
But I will wait a little bit if we get 2 or 3 episodes more.
Agreed.
I like that you said that it's not structured like a normal sitcom would be.
Yes, no. Well, I think this brings us, let's see, I want to make sure Cardinal Sin, Gil was the last person that sent us a super chat. I think tips were all good there. I think we're all good from everyone.
You're all good. Okay.
So I guess this ends our show. I've already said every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. All you can do is listen. And you've said
we're looking forward to the Rings of Power on Friday.
I know we're going to have a lot to talk about next week. Rings of Power. I haven't looked to see what comes out next week, but I'm sure something comes out. I'll get something from Second Sight or something from Vinegar Syndrome or something from somewhere. But that's great.
We always have pre-orders cooking.
The pre-orders are cooking. All right.
If you forget about it.
Well, Deets, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Thank you for another
Redlands,
great show.
California.
Yeah. All right.
See you next week, my friend.